Some of us were raised to believe that we should not get angry, that anger was bad, that good people, well behaved people, professional people, they do not get angry. So we learned to convert it, swallow it, smile through it. And by the time we got to the senior level, we had been doing that for so long, we stopped noticing we were doing it. Here's what nobody told us: anger is an emotion. Emotion is energy, and energy does not disappear just because you decided not to feel it. It goes somewhere. So, where does it go? Welcome to Soulfire Leadership, where we talk about what it actually feels like to lead at a senior level. The parts you're navigating alone, probably because nobody in your environment is naming them. Let's start with the thing itself, because most of what we've been taught about anger is incomplete. Anger is not good. It's not bad. It's energy. Physiologically, it is a fight or flight response. Your nervous system detects something: perceived unfairness, betrayal, injury, frustration, and it mobilizes. Your heart rate goes up. That means your heart is pumping harder, getting blood to your muscles fast. Adrenaline, that's your body saying, move, respond, do something. Cortisol, the stress hormone that keeps you on high alert. Your body is preparing to respond to a threat. It does not know the threat is in a conference room. It just knows something crossed a line. It can show up as a low grade irritation. That thing a colleague said that you're still churning over 3 hours later. All the way to the kind of fury that makes your hands shake. Same mechanism, different intensity. And here's the part that matters: the signal itself is morally neutral. It is data. Your system is telling you that something crossed a line, that something was not fair, that you're being asked to absorb more than your body is willing to absorb without registering it. What we do with anger is where it gets complicated. And the problem most senior leaders have is not that they feel it. It is that suppression is the only tool they were ever given for it. Suppress it, perform past it, never let it show. That's the whole toolkit. And it is not enough. And what that training actually costs you in your body, in your judgment, in your leadership, most people at your level have never been told. So let me show you how this actually works, because it doesn't happen in one moment. It stacks. A peer said something in front of the group that made you look less informed than you are. You smiled, you nodded, you moved on. You get assigned more work. You're already at capacity. Nobody asked. It just appeared on your desk with the expectation attached. You get home. Your kid is acting up. And honestly, the last thing you want right now is to deal with this. Your spouse is upset with you. From your perspective, there's no good reason for it. But there it is. And running over all of it, like a rule you did not write, but somehow absorbed. Do not show it. Tamp it down. Swallow it. Because showing anger is unprofessional. It means you're not ready for the next level. Whew. That's what we're talking about. Now, let me show you what happens inside you when that pressure has nowhere to go, and why the advice you were given made every bit of it worse. The balloon didn't pop because any one breath was too much. It popped because there was no exit. That is exactly what happens inside a person who's been managing, performing, and suppressing over a sustained period of time. It does not come out where or when you would choose. It comes out at the person who probably deserves it least at the moment that matters most, in a form you later have to explain or walk back. Or it doesn't come out at all. It turns inward. Chronic stress, decision fatigue, a kind of low level numbness that makes it harder to access your actual judgment. You start operating from a managed version of yourself instead of the real one. And the gap between those two is where your performance starts to erode. I'm not saying this to alarm you. I'm saying it because it's real and it is happening in a lot of high performing people right now who have no idea it is the mechanism at work. The anger is not the problem. What you do with it is. Anger that has nowhere to go does not disappear. It becomes the way you lead. Before I get to a tool, I want to be direct about something. I'm not telling you to show your anger at work. I know how that goes. I have been in those rooms. Unmanaged anger at work does real damage to relationships, to credibility, to the room's ability to hear anything you say after the moment. That is not what I'm advocating. What I'm saying is that suppressing it and releasing it are not the same thing. We have run those two ideas together for so long that most high performing leaders genuinely believe that if they're not showing it, they're fine. They're not fine. They are a pressure cooker waiting to explode. Here's the part that nobody says aloud. The leadership advice that told you to stay composed has been asking you to gaslight yourself, to take a real signal, a real response to a real thing that happened, and convince yourself it was not worth feeling. You're not too emotional for this level. You are too suppressed. And there is something you can do about it tonight. Not a pop, a release. So here's the tool. It's one of my favorites. And I want you to understand before I walk you through it that this is not just a release technique. This is the act of reclaiming something. Every time you suppress the signal, you gave something away. This is how you take it back. Later today, or maybe this evening when you have some privacy, sit down with a paper and pen. Not a screen, not your computer, a paper and pen. Handwriting activates a different part of your brain than typing does. The emotional processing part. That matters for this to actually work. So what I want you to do is write an FU letter. Bear with me. Write it to the person, the situation, the meeting, the moment, whatever triggered the signal. You can write more than one letter if there is more than one source, but give yourself at least a day in between them. Your body needs time to process. The instructions are simple. Nothing gets softened before it reaches the page. This is not a memo or an email. It is not something you could ever read aloud in a meeting. You're not writing for an audience. You are writing for release. Start with something like, dear, name of a person, the situation, whatever it is. FU because, and you can use the actual word, and then let it go where it needs to go. Don't censor yourself. Just let it flow. Free form. Don't worry about punctuation, grammar, none of that. Just let it flow. Here are some places to start. I am angry because, I am hurt because, I'm ashamed because, why did you? I cannot believe you. What you created. What this reminds me of. What I actually want from you. Do not edit. Do not compose. Do not make it fair or measured or something you could defend. When you're finished, do not go back and read it. Tear it into the smallest pieces you can. Then burn it if you can safely can, or bury it. Put it under everything else in the trash can. It's gone. What comes after is not more anger. It is clarity. The energy you've been spending on suppression has somewhere to go. It is, you are literally moving it in your body and up and out and releasing it. And what happens to your leadership when that clears is real. I have seen it. I have lived it. Before I close, I want to leave you with one question. When was the last time you actually released something? Not managed it, not performed past it, released it. Because the energy you spend on suppression is energy you are not spending on your judgment, your relationships, or the work you are actually here to do. Remember, anger is just energy, neither good nor bad. Anger creates pressure, and pressure needs an exit. That's not a character flaw. That is physics. If something in this video names something you've been carrying, please subscribe. Or if you know of someone that might find this useful, please share. I post every week on what senior leaders are actually navigating. The parts that don't make it into the usual leadership playbook. And if this landed for you and you want to go deeper, I wrote a book called Soulfire Leadership, the leadership model women were never taught. The link is in the description below. I will see you next week.